Hello everybody, once again this is Great Starcraft. I am Red Terran down in the bottom middle. My opponent, Twisted Way, Yellow Terran up in the top right. This game is shortly after the Siege Tank nerf. I'm going to experiment and see how Siege Tanks do against Terran vs Terran, see if the damage nerf was too much, if it still works. We'll see. And at 10 supply, I will get my first supply depot. I believe on this build I get the early refinery followed by barracks at 13 or 14. The guy who builds my supply depot I usually send as a scout. I've yet to try the battle cruiser since they've nerfed them. They took the damage from 10 down to 8 to ground units. Quite a significant nerf. It is a 20% damage nerf. And siege tanks went from 50 to 35, which I believe is about a 30% damage nerf to siege tanks. It also nerfed all the splash damage for them, so Marines, even with the combat shield, don't get one-shotted at all. Get my barracks up. Believe I pump out a Marine. I'm not too sure here. He's already got his first Marine going. Getting my second refinery up because I do plan on going Siege Viking, very gas intensive. He almost got away with his SCV. He's going to try to out-macro me, swinging it all the way around. Have him on follow at the moment, but I will be cutting back across through my base and will cut him off. He is now just getting his orbital command. Starting up my factory. Most Terran decide to block off their base. I decide not to against Terran. It's quite difficult to protect everything if they go Banshee or they're siege tanking you from outside of your base or anything like that. So I just suggest to cramp everything together and protect it that way. Once you get more units and you can start protecting more, you can start building out. But here I go. I'm getting early expansion. Getting 2 bunkers right here to protect the ramp and my expansion as well. I'm gonna fill those with Marines, and I will be getting a siege tank here shortly with siege capability. See what he got going on here. He has 1 barracks with the tech lab, another one being carried with the reactor, tech lab on his refinery, an idle worker, and a starport. We both have siege tanks being created. He does not have siege tech being researched at this moment. I am at a 4 SCV advantage and 2 more Marines than him. As you can tell, my income is almost double his. This will help a lot. I'm going to transfer half of my SCVs over and create this into a orbital command. I'm going to try to get both bases saturated again. Creating siege tanks. Going to siege this one out right here on this corner. I don't know what he has planned with this very late Reaper. I believe he's using it as a scout. But he runs right in front of this bunker and gets clipped. Now he's sending this guy this way. I don't know why he's cutting it so closely again. He should have went a longer route. And then now he has an SCV being pushed out right here. What does he plan to do? Almost goes down, but since these tanks are nerfed, they are no longer taking SCVs out in one shot. Looks like he is bringing his SCV out as well. And he is just inside my range. Any closer and he would have been shot. But as you can tell, he has sight on me. I will empty out my bunker and move my Marines forward and siege down his guys. Put a few guys on this to repair and put your Marines back in it. Building a starport so I can get Vikings to give my siege tanks extra range. Just continually pump out these siege tanks. Once you're at multiple expansions, usually you're going to want to build more than just one production building for your main unit. But I do have this starport coming down here very shortly with the reactor for Vikings. I do have way too much mineral. I normally try to keep my mineral below 300 the entire game. Trying to keep my army big at the same time, expanding, harassing, etc. Looks like he throws down a scan on me. Not quite sure if he's going Banshee, but just in case he does, I'm going to throw down a missile turret in both of my expansion and my main base mineral lines. Starting to pump out these Vikings. And siege tanks will continue to be created. Make sure you have a good spread on your siege tanks. That way, if he does try to stim pack some guys in, he can't just snipe one and then the other and the other if they're just all next to each other. But if you have them spread out evenly, it keeps your siege tanks alive longer, and they provide cover fire on top of each other. Looks like he does land 2 Vikings in my base. I will be sending these siege tanks in to kill them. Don't know why he doesn't decide to just go ahead and lift off. Maybe he saw my Vikings and knew it was futile. Getting these refineries up in my expansion. I will fully saturate them here shortly. Looks like he is basically mirroring my build. Double bunker in the front and an expansion. Although he does not have his siege tanks out yet. I don't even know if he's creating any. Looks like he's going for medvacs and Vikings and Marines. He has a huge Marine build, which you would think if you saw me with my siege tanks that you would stop making Marines. But maybe he's thinking with the siege tank nerf that Marines could actually, I don't know, survive and kill siege tanks. I don't know. But we'll see what happens here shortly. Looks like I catch that medvac luckily. I just had these guys here to give these siege tanks sight as I move forward, and luckily for me, I caught a full medvac. Pushing these guys out, making sure there's no one that's gonna just catch these siege tanks out of siege mode. Gonna take out this bunker quite quickly. Don't unsiege all your guys at once. Take the ones in the back that aren't really doing anything. Crawl them forward and siege them out. And then so forth. Basically, keep leapfrogging your siege tanks into their base. Still keeping siege tanks here for base defense. I know I got a few up in here. Looks like he was moving these out for an expansion. His Vikings will fall quite easily. Unsiege the ones in the back, moving forward, keep leapfrogging. Here's the expansion he was sending SCVs out for that got caught in the rain of the siege tanks. Have both of these bases fully saturated, getting 2 more expansions. At this point I do know the game's over, but you know, you can never be too safe, I guess. One of these I would land right here on the next expansion and one in the high yield. But I have these Vikings on patrol, so I'm not really quite paying attention to them just yet. I will see that he has landed in the high yield here shortly. Using the Vikings for range on the siege tank up at the top. Don't know what he plans on doing with all these workers, just sacrificing them all. I don't know. I do believe this player is a platinum or diamond player. I'm quite confused on what he thought he was doing there. Maybe it was a miss micro, misclick, I'm not sure. He's not even sending them to his expansion. So I don't think it was on purpose. Sending siege tanks out. I saw him landing this in here, thinking he's trying to be funny and change it into a planetary fortress. So I'm just going to move my siege tanks up. I already have one siege tank sieged out here. Move my marines up and finish it off before it gets to change. These Vikings will take out this expansion, and I will keep crawling forward with these tanks, but it looks like he does leave in a few seconds. There's the good game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe to my channel. I will have more videos up. Leave comments on what videos you would like to see. I will try to get them. And